Later on tonight, Rabbi Michael Lerner of Tikkun magazine. He's one of the leading peace advocates, Jewish peace advocates in the United States. We will, of course, talk about the despicable act that took place over the weekend and what Israel did. That is coming up. Let's go to Gilad in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, hi, Alan.
Hi.
This is Gilad.
Gilad, I mispronounced your name. Sorry.
Yeah, calling from Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yes, sir.
I was listening to you. As far as I know, Gaza is not an independent country as of yet, and we control all the borders. All cargo has to go through Israeli ports. You cannot have ships coming into Gaza. I mean, if you were the Prime Minister of Israel, what would you command the army to do when the ships...
Are you suggesting that the Israeli military acted properly here?
Of course.
Based on what?
What would you suggest? Let's say you were the Prime Minister. What would you suggest the army would do when the ships are approaching
This
Gaza?
was an aid ship. There was a humanitarian aid ship. I was bringing aid to the Gaza Strip. What are you talking about?
Well, but you have to inspect all cargo. I mean, America, I can't just float a ship into Chicago.
You don't stop it. You don't board a ship and start attacking people in the middle of international waters. That they could have, if they had some questions about what was on that ship, they could have done it in a much less aggressive way without causing the loss of life.
How? What would they have done?
What would they have done? They could have waited until the ship unloaded. They didn't have to attack in international waters. This was an attack.
Wait.
How are you defending this?
Wait, you're saying waiting till the ship docks where? In Gaza?
Yes.
Israel can't access Gaza. You want us to invade? We have.
They could have. Right. They can't access international water either. They could have waited for the boats to arrive, and they could have sent the military to search if it thought that there was anything other than humanitarian aid on that ship.
If we would have said the military to search the ships once they approach Gaza, then we'd have to invade Gaza.
Okay, so wait. So that it's okay to invade a ship on the way without any information that. Well, what did they find on that ship?
No.
What did they find? What are you saying that this raid was justified? Justified by what?
Let's say that all the ships had nothing but humanitarian aid. We had a three-pronged approach. There's a marine embargo.
Tell me what justified this attack.
I'll explain to you right off. There is a blockade on Gaza because it is not an independent state, even by.
All right, so they're blockading Gaza. When the ship got to Gaza, they could have asked to inspect the ship. They didn't have to attack it in international waters.
They couldn't. We don't. There is no military presence in Gaza. We have.
They've got a blockade. There's a blockade.
Right, so we have to approach the ships while they're still at sea. We cannot approach the land.
And what did they find on this ship?
Wait, so let's say you're right.
On what basis? Either they had bad intelligence, they approached the ship, they didn't even have the right weapons with them.
I'm saying, Alan, hear me out here. Let's suppose the ships had nothing but humanitarian aid. There was a three-pronged approach. We first of all radioed them before they left port and said, bring all your cargo into Ashkelon, next to Gaza in Israel. We'll inspect the cargo. We'll let everyone off the ships, and we'll transport all the cargo via land into Gaza.
Right. Okay, so why didn't they do that?
The ships right out denied it. They did. I mean,
I see. So the only option they had was to attack the ship and cost 11 lives.
Then when the ships, you got footage of it.
So in other words, they had to kill 10 people.
No, wait, Alan. The military ships.
Look, I got to take a hard break here. This is indefensible. There are alternatives. They didn't have to do it this way. There's no reason to attack that ship, and clearly there was nothing on that ship other than humanitarian aid. We're coming back at 877. We go to Joe in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Hi. I'm calling to finish the point that the fine young gentleman from Israel that called over. He didn't get to finish, but like he was saying before he got cut off on the hard break there, they radioed to the ship and said, come into the port and we'll offload you and your stuff. We'll bring it into Gaza. And they pretty much ignored that So they're pretty much forced to go out there.
They were not forced to go out there. I have no evidence that radio took place. They're not forced to go out there. And they violated international law.
More about it if he would have let the guy talk at $9 a minute. He called in. He knows more about any of this stuff that's going on.
That's because you agree with him.
Idiot robots that call up here.
Don't insult my audience. Good night, sir. Sometimes we have something called a clock, and I have to end a segment. When the guy called from Israel before, I was up against a hard break, and I had no choice but to end the call. But, I guess if you're an idiot robot, if you don't agree with that guy. Look, what Israel did was clearly wrong. The world has condemned Israel. Israel's military has said they screwed the whole thing up. I don't know how you defend Israel on this. But to some people, Israel can do no wrong. And that is truly a shame. Just like Obama could do no right, Israel can do no wrong. And I think you've got a arrogant, nasty government in Israel that does not want peace. You got Netanyahu is not a peace guy. His deputy, part of the government, Lieberman, with whom he had to make a deal to have a coalition government, has spoken out against the peace process. He does not want peace. John in Washington Township, New Jersey. Hello.
How you doing, Alan?
Hi.
Well, a couple things. I would like to know what do you call a blockade if the only thing that Israel's not letting in are weapons?
Okay.
What are they blockading besides weaponry?
Right. Well, from what we've heard, it's also stopping food and aid from getting to the Palestinians.
That's not true. That's not true, Alan.
Well, when you stop a flotilla in the middle in international waters, a flotilla actually is 6 or 7 ships, but
they only stopped one.
And that's okay.
Well, if it was the one, why were they being antagonistic to the Israelis?
Why were they stopping the ship?
Because they don't want weaponry coming in.
Well, they didn't find any. What did they find on the ship?
What did they find?
And what right do they have?
Beating, Alan. Did you see the video of the men being beaten?
What they were doing was self-defense. That's what that was called in that video.
They were beating them before they got off the road.
That's
Alan.
not true.
You saw the video.
Self-defense.
Did you listen to Al Jazeera? Have you listened to what Al Jazeera's been saying about this before it even happened?
Why are you yelling? Why are you so upset?
I'm not yelling. You said this
why are you so upset? Why are you so upset?
I'm upset because you tell untruths.
Untruths? It's very clear what happened.
Israel
is right now the laughing stock of the world because of what it did.
No, we're the laughing stock of the world because we don't back them.
Well, we have to back them no matter what?
No matter what. Well,
so in other words, whatever Israel does is okay. They can bomb Lebanon. They can level a country.
Why?
They can attack a ship.
Why?
They can do whatever they want, and we're supposed to.
We back South Korea.
And we're supposed.
We back South Korea, and one of their ships gets shot
so it makes it okay. No, so Israel has carte blanche. You can do whatever the hell it wants.
Right. So can North Korea. So can Iran.
So Israel's like North Korea.
So can North Korea, and so can Iran.
So your argument is Israel can do whatever it wants. Is that your argument? I'm asking you. Is that your argument?
My argument isn't that Israel can do whatever it wants.
All right. So when is Israel wrong?
Why is your view that the world is so upset at Israel, but they're not so upset at somebody like North Korea?
When is Israel? We're not talking about North Korea. When is Israel wrong? Of course we're upset with North Korea. When is Israel wrong?
When is Israel wrong?
Yeah.
Well, let me see. They might be wrong when they don't try to defend themselves.
Oh, I see. Okay? But as long as
this whole peace process,
so Israel can do nothing wrong. Israel's always the victim.
Every time there's a peace process, Alan, what does Israel give up, and what do they get? They give up land, and they get.
So all they should do is keep attacking, and you'll be happy.
No. Well, Alan, who keeps attacking Israel? Nobody.
There's a cycle of violence. In which Israel is a full participant, if not, in this case, an aggressor.